All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, peewees located around the world, we present to you another episode. What is this? Episode 3 of season 2?
Episode 3, season 2.
Episode 3 of season 2 of the Fab Five Bettors Podcast. Of course, myself, Gabe is here. We don't know where anybody else is, so
We
that's kind of a mystery this week.
yeah, we don't know anyone. I haven't spoken to PB since last night. Well, we know where Cornbread is. He's out looking for a house. That we
Yeah,
do. We do know where he is, but Joey, we don't know where the fuck he is. So
yeah. Joey has went MIA. He's AWOL, all those things. We don't know what's going on. So we're kind of just, rolling with the punches here.
yeah.
And we're gonna we'll be all right. So obviously, NFL playoffs is the topic of the week because the conference championship is tomorrow, is Sunday. So that's gonna be a very interesting, bid. Of course, the Ravens and the Chiefs, and surprisingly enough, I mean, well, not surprisingly enough, but um, the Niners and the Lions. But obviously, how did we get here? Obviously, we're gonna go over that. We're gonna preview the conference championship, give our picks, who we got winning, who we got going to the Super Bowl, because this is the deciding factor. This is the game right here. So
Facts.
last Saturday to be exact, um, Baltimore hosted number 4 seeded Houston Texans in a showdown of CJ Stroud versus Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens, let's just say the Ravens are probably that team. Uh 34-10 was the final score in that game. Um Lamar Jackson had 4 total touchdowns, 2 passing and 2 on the ground. Um it was a very productive game for Lamar Jackson. As he said before, not bad for a running back, right?
Right.
Um Obviously we have our takes on this game, but I feel like I think the biggest takeaway from this game, and I'll ask you in a minute, Gabe. I think the biggest takeaway from this game is, this is the team. If you had to pick a time
Mm-hmm.
where the Ravens made a run in the Lamar Jackson era,
Mm-hmm.
this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
You have some elite quarterback play from Lamar as of right now. You have, a I'm not even going to say a semi decent because in years recent, the receiving core has been very semi decent. But now you have good receiver play from Rashad Bateman, who's stayed healthy this year, which is big for them. Zay Flowers, who's came in and has made a huge difference maker on this Ravens offense, whether you like it or not. Odell Beckham, who's still Odell Beckham at the end of the day. It does not matter. Um, and then the defense, man. The Ravens defense. This is probably in the last few years, this is probably the best defense Baltimore has put together. And I think it all started with them going and getting Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith, I don't know what it is, but Roquan Smith has, I'm not going to say single-handedly changed the atmosphere of that defense, but he's definitely influenced that defense a lot more. I mean, you have Kyle Hamilton, who is an all-pro safety this year. It's just good play all around from this Baltimore team. And as far as the Texans go, they dropped 45 on the best ranked defense, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks prior. You got to give it to them. As much as everyone wants to say, "Oh, it's the Ravens. Of course they were going to beat the Texans," but the Texans just dropped 45 on the best defense in the league. That's not something that you can't just call that. People had like going into that game, people had the Browns beating the Texans solely because of the playoff experience, and I understand. It's Joe Flacco. He's been here before. We get it. I get it. But C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans proceeded to put up 45 points, and not only that, this Houston Texans defense was able to pick off Joe Flacco twice, score a pick six twice on back-to-back possessions. That's not something that you could just call. It's not. So honestly, all it did, it came down to, who wanted it more, in my opinion. And obviously the team that wanted it more was the team that won. Of course, hats off to CJ Stroud on a remarkable season. It was a great season. Definitely offensive rookie of the year. He deserves it. There's no doubt about it. There's no debate. He deserves it, hands down. So hats off to him. Hats off to the Texans on a remarkable season. Who would have thought they would get this far in year one of the CJ Stroud era?
Um, I'm a. I mean, you pretty much said it all. This Texans team was not supposed to be here. Um, they have some great young pieces. Tank Dell. Who's that? Will Anderson. CJ Stroud. They got a good running game. Their defense, if they can improve on the defensive end, they'll be solid for a couple of
Right,
years. They got the quarterback. They just need to add around. I mean, you got the receivers. You got Tank Dell. You got Nico Collins. You got Noah Brown. You got John Mechie. You got the tight end. You know,
right,
you got the running game. Realistically, I think this draft and this offseason, they need to focus on getting some corners. Somebody play alongside who's that corner they got on the other side? What's his name? His name's
uh, Steven Nelson.
Stephen Nelson. Yeah. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of another team. I could have sworn they just, or he might play safety, one of the two. But they just need
Jalen Petrie.
probably somebody along the. I'm thinking somebody. I'll probably remember the name later on. But they just need to build on that defensive end, especially on the backside. The Ravens just took care of business.
Right,
They're as they're the best team in the league. I believe so. They're up there with the four. There's not many teams left that I think could give them a run for their money.
hmm
They demolished the 49ers earlier in the year. Um, the only thing that concerns me about this Ravens team going
hmm
into tomorrow is if someone, because really their team predicated on the run. The run sets of the pass. If they run into that one team, they can get after Lamar and can disrupt that running game. I want to see what they can do. I want to see what's their plan B. Because honestly, I don't think we've seen them use their plan B. They set you up with the run, whether it be Lamar, the Gus Bus, Justice Hill, and then they hit you with the pass when you least expect it. So I mean, I kind of want to see what they do if a team can neutralize the run. Um, do I think the Chiefs can do it? No, I don't think they could do it. But I mean, I'm excited to see what the Ravens can do tomorrow. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I'm personally rooting for Lamar tomorrow. I don't want to see Taylor Swift
right.
on my. I don't want to see Taylor Swift on my TV no more. And I'm I'm,
Yeah,
I'm, I'm done with her. It's not so much Patrick Mahomes; it's just her. So I mean, my final straw was when they did that article about the swag surf. Did you see that article?
yeah, I did.
I was
I
like, oh,
definitely did.
I said, oh hell no. I said, yeah, I seen enough. I seen enough. But I mean, I guess we could talk about transitioning into the Chiefs.
But my question is,
Go
and
ahead.
there was a question. There was a question of the day.
Yeah.
Right. Um, After this one season,
Hmm.
do you think Houston made the right choice with CJ Stroud at quarterback?
I think so. I think so. But what people fail to realize when you're drafting a quarterback, you can never judge a quarterback till you have weapons around him. I will tell you
Right.
this: they put weapons around him. They gave him
Right.
Tank Dell. For people who don't know who
Right.
Tank Dell is, before he came to the league, we all knew Tank Dell was going to be something. Did I expect him to be
Right.
this good? Hell no. We,
Right.
we all know what Nico Collins is. Nico Collins has always been that dude. Noah Brown has always been
Right.
good. If you know John Metchie, he's been alright. Devin Singletary and Damian Pierce. That's a decent running
Especially
game.
if you know John, Mechie's story, of
Yeah,
course, that's
yeah,
huge.
it's a huge. So it's like, and Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, probably one of the better tight ends of our generation. Will Anderson, pretty good defensive DN. Um, it's just that, I mean, they have the pieces there to be successful. And I feel like a lot of people, when they draft in a quarterback, they expect the quarterback to just turn that whole offense around. I knew from last year. Who was the guy that had a quarterback? What was his name? That played at quarterback last year for the Texans. I forgot his name.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. They looked halfway decent with Davis Mills. They had, so I always knew if they can get that quarterback that can elevate them and add a piece or two, they'll be fine. Because honestly,
Right.
I don't because I don't because I never understood putting a rookie quarterback in the fire. Never
Right.
understood it. It blows my mind to this day that people think that you could put a quarterback and with no weapons and expect them to cook. It's like expecting me to go in my line of work. I ain't got no knives. I ain't got no stove. I ain't got no pot. I got no butter. I ain't got no oil. I ain't got nothing.
Right.
But you want me to make a cake? How the fuck is that supposed to work?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, credit to Texans for putting the right weapons around him and actually playing a scheme that fits his qualities. Because I
Right.
don't know if you noticed, he looks more comfortable running when he was in with the Texans than when he was at Ohio State. And what's the one thing
Yeah.
we always used to cuss him about? He never likes to run with the ball. Never. He would just
Yeah.
sit in the pocket. I mean, and just to flip it back to Bryce Young, look at what Bryce Young has around him.
Right.
Oh, watch Adam Thielen,
Right.
Jonathan Mingo, and a pack of Black and Miles. Like, what is he supposed to do with that? With Chuba
Right.
Hubbard? That's why he kind of looks so bad. So I mean, yes, it's drafting the right quarterback, but it's also putting the pieces around him to be successful. They
Right.
so I mean credit to the Texans to drafting well, finding those gems, and getting dogs that know how to compete. Because a lot of people, when Tank Dell went out, they did not miss a step. When Tank Dell
Right.
dropped, they did not miss Nico Collins. He was cooking. They have two guys who could be number ones, and Noah
Mm-hmm.
Brown, he could be your number three. So I mean, they got a lot to build on. I think they need to go find a corner, whether it be in the draft or maybe get a veteran and and draft the corner. Because I will just so that team isn't too young, because they are very young. Just keep growing with CJ Stroud and keep building that own line, and that's it really. So
Right.
I mean, that's about it really. I guess we could
And then
talk.
of course
Go ahead.
from that same Saturday night, the Niners came, well, not really a comeback, but last second touchdown from Christian McCaffrey, and they would win the game 24-21. And this is one thing that I feel like I think people are starting to realize that Brock Purdy is human. We are starting to see that, everything that, everybody has said about Brock Purdy, right? I'm not taking away from the fact that he's good. I'm not taking away from the fact that he's a very successful quarterback. But there is a reason. There are a few reasons why he's a successful quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, George Kittle,
Brandon Ayuk,
Brandon Ayuk,
Trent Williams, like
the 49ers defense.
defense.
There is reasons why Brock Purdy is successful. Now, again, I'm not saying that, to hate. I'm not saying that to, pass the whole, Brock Purdy's not that great of a quarterback narrative. But when you think about it, Cam Newton was right. Brock Purdy is a game manager. And, I'm not no quarterback. I played quarterback before, but I'm not no, NFL quarterback. But I know the difference between generational talent and just a game manager. Brock Purdy is a game manager. If you watch that game back, he had 252 passing yards. Cool.
Cool.
But his throws the entire night was off target. Out of 39 targets, 39 attempts, he hit 23 of those. So he missed 16. Okay. I'm not expecting a quarterback to come out and, make every throw that he throws, right? But Brock Purdy did not look like, the Brock Purdy that everybody's been calling him out to be. This is not MVP. This is not it. This is why, when you really think about it, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes a quarterback should not always win MVP. Because apparently everybody has Brock Purdy winning MVP. And I just feel like you're taking away from the people that actually, caused that MVP. Christian McCaffrey, who's also an MVP finalist. And then you're taking away from the fact, taking away from people that are actually, you know, talent wise. Josh Allen, who's very a talented quarterback. He's not a game manager, he's a playmaker. Lamar Jackson, who's not a game manager, he's a playmaker. We're talking about Brock Purdy so much, we're taking away from the playmakers, not the game managers. Playmakers. Because last time I checked, most valuable player. I mean, let's take a look at the last few MVPs. It's been Aaron Rodgers. It's been Patrick Mahomes. It's been Lamar Jackson. They have something in common. These guys are playmakers. They're not just game managers. They're playmakers. They go out and make plays that change the dynamic of the game, which is why they win MVP, which is why you get an award like that. It's just my thing is that we need to stop. Well, I'm not saying, take away credit from Brock Purdy because he's gotten them this far. And he did it last year, coming in as a rookie, won 7 games, went undefeated, of course, got hurt in the conference championship last year. I'm not saying take away credit from Brock Purdy, but I need everyone to understand that Brock Purdy is human just like everyone else. He's not this god that everybody makes him out to be. All the nicknames that I've heard, Glock Purdy, MVP Purdy.
Glock Purdy, what?
Yes, Glock Purdy.
Ah.
Yes. Yes. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm not saying take away. I'm not trying to discredit him whatsoever. But let's slow down. I haven't seen anything from Brock Purdy that made me say, "Oh, he's MVP." I see that more from Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. That's where I see that from. All I'm saying is that the 49ers, if they think that they're going to win with mediocre quarterback play from Brock Purdy this Sunday, they have another thing coming because Detroit is on a different level.
They honestly they shouldn't even be here playing tomorrow. They should have lost. They
Right,
should have lost last week. But
right.
I don't know what it is with kickers missing in prime moments. But they honestly should have lost. They looked horrible. They did not
My
look good at
point.
all. They got carried. It was a Christian McCaffrey carry job. That's all that was. I tell you, if it was any team with a little bit more talent and a half decent kicker, they would. We would be talking
Green
about
Bay.
we talking about Green Bay. If Green Bay had a little bit more talent and a better kicker, talking about Green Bay. It was probably been the most entertaining game of the week. But I mean, I know they're gonna have Debo tomorrow. They, it's I don't know. This 49ers team does not impress me at all. Uh, I mean, there's certain. I've always believed there's certain positions you can't go cheap. Quarterback being one of them. Um, but it's just like you have every piece you can need to win a chip, but it's always been the quarterback. It's always been the quarterback, and I will sit here and say it till the wheels fall off. I don't think they win anything with Brock Purdy.
Right,
I think they need to go out if they really are serious about winning the chip with this amount of talent. Because I'll tell you what, we talk about windows closing with the Eagles. I think they maybe have a year or two left because they can't pay everyone.
all right.
They can't pay Debo. They're not going to be able to pay him. Ayuk, they're not going to be able to pay him. You know, Joey Bosa, Chase Young, they're going to have to pay him eventually. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have pieces that need to get paid, and I don't think they're not going to be able to pay all of them. So it's just like that's the fact that you're probably banking your best team of this generation on a seventh round pick. Who I'll he is good, but is he Super Bowl carry you to the promised land good? I don't think so.
Right,
So it was shown the other day. The Packers defense isn't even that great, and he looked bad. He did not look good at all. Especially once Debo went out the game too. Oh, forget it. Oh, forget it. And just to piggyback on the Lions have a better defense.
yeah,
They may not have the corners, but they have a better secondary than what they'll go up against.
right.
Aiden Hutchinson does exist. Um, and that Lions offense is probably is clicking on all cylinders right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions won tomorrow.
Right.
I would not be surprised. Um, cause is there a universe where I see the 49ers winning? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just I don't know if I could put my trust or my hard-earned money on Brock Purdy to beat the Lions after what I saw last week. But
Right,
that's just me. I can't do it.
right, right. Switching gears to the Lions, they beat Tampa Bay and probably which was one of the most interesting games of divisional round weekend. 31-23 final score. First conference championship since 1992. Of
Shit, we wasn't even
course, that
born.
was yeah, we wasn't even thought of then. So, um, but obviously, of course, this is I was watching the Hard Knock series featuring Detroit, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. Like, if there isn't a team I want to go far, it's Detroit. I want them to go far. I want them to do great things. They're one step closer because this team is really like Dan Campbell is really all in for this team. I feel like that's the difference maker. When you talk about the teams that, you know, should have been here, right? You talk about Philly, you talk about Dallas. You talk about, all these other teams that should have been here, right? Should have been here. But this is the difference maker. Their coach is all in for the team. Dan Campbell is all in for Detroit. And he believes in this team. And he's made a believer out of everybody this season. And to think they are doing this, mind you, with Jared Goff as their quarterback. Jared Goff, 29 years old. I mean, I'm not saying Jared Goff like he's just so bad. I'm saying Jared Goff because, it's so many talented QBs that could have been in this spot right now, could have been in the conference championship. But guess what? He's here and they're not. Jalen Hurts could have been here, but he's not. My point is that this team is really they play for each other, and that's the difference maker. When you have a team that plays for each other and they're selfless, you can't lose. You just cannot lose. They played one hell of a game against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay came back firing on all cylinders. Baker Mayfield looked great. I thought I would never say that. Yes, he threw two picks. Okay, that's fine. But other than that, he made some very great plays. And not let me just say, I was impressed. Baker Mayfield, that's probably the best Baker Mayfield has looked in a while since his stint with Cleveland. Probably the best I've seen Baker look in a while. Um, but yeah, it's just this is going to be very interesting. I just been thinking about it. I'm like, man, this is going to be something. This is going to be something. And just watching that game, I'm like, this team has they have the opportunity to go all the way here. They have the opportunity. If there was a team, if Baltimore was to lose tomorrow, I'm rooting for Detroit. I'm rooting for Detroit. I hope Detroit gets past San Fran because I don't want to see San Fran in the Super Bowl. I just don't. I really just don't.
I don't blame you.
But 31-23 was the final score of that Detroit Tampa Bay game. Of course, Jared Goff, 30 for 43, 287 yards, two touchdowns. Jameer Gibbs had a touchdown on 9 carries, 74 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown got in the end zone as well. Gabe, your thoughts on this game?
um, this was the game of the day of Sunday. That
Right,
was the game of the day. Baker looked good, really good.
right.
I hope they keep him around for the Bucks. Seeing how they're kind of in a weird place with Mike Evans and
Yeah,
what's his name, Chris Godwin. You have the pieces there. They just need to build around it, and they could be a contender. Especially
right.
since I see a few teams falling off. God knows what's gonna happen with the Eagles. The Cowboys, they always gonna suck every January. Um, and who knows with the Lions? Maybe who knows what happens with Jared Goff and who knows? I can see a couple teams just regressing a little bit. Um, the Lions really impressed me. Um,
Yeah,
they have a 1-2 punch. Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, probably one of the best 1-2 punches in all of football. Um, and they have the elite wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's just cooking defenses alive for fun. He had himself a day. Um, Jared Goff is playing well. Their defense is playing really well. Um, the only thing that does scare me about their defense is, which we'll talk about when we pick our winners, is the corners. Maybe barring one team. Um, Mike Evans had 150 yards. He was cooking. He was cooking with gas fire. Um, But I don't. I the Lions, man, they just impressed me. The way they was able to keep at it, the way they closed out that game too. Um, I don't know why the Bucks went for two when it still was a touchdown down anyway. That decision for the life of me makes no sense. But I mean, the Lions played well. The Bucks look really good. Um, I don't know what happens. I don't know what they do with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Um, hopefully, maybe as Mike Evans has had a horrible selection when it comes to quarterbacks. Tom Brady at the end of his career, God knows who he had beforehand. It's just never been good with Mike Evans. So I know I heard rumors that Mike Evans is thinking about staying if Baker stays. So I mean, we'll see where it goes from there. But I mean, credit to Lions, they got the job done. I'm personally rooting for them in the NFC Championship. I think they would make the most intriguing matchup if they got the Lions. If they didn't get the Lions, if they got the Chiefs, that'll probably be the most intriguing. That'll be a pretty good matchup as well. Entertaining game. But yeah, the Lions. Ooh, excuse me. They looked really good. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm excited to see what they do against the 49ers because I think they can beat the 49ers.
All right.
Packers almost done it. Shoot, the Lions might be able to just run through them. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Shifting gears to Kansas City and Buffalo. The first time we've seen Patrick Mahomes on the road in the playoffs. This is the first time in the last 6 years Kansas City has hosted the AFC Conference Championship. We have never seen Patrick Mahomes on the road in the playoffs. Never. And somehow, some way, they got it done. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not discrediting Patrick Mahomes whatsoever. He's probably one of the better quarterbacks of this generation. You know, he's definitely already has a Hall of Fame career already. So, but to this was the chance. If you had to,
This was the team.
if- this was the team. This was the team that Buffalo could have beat. If Buffalo had to win, it was last week. They had to win, and they didn't. And they just did not.
Wide right.
Which is what?
Wide right.
Wide right. Wide right.
Listen,
Wide right.
listen. I know a little bit about wide right, so
And you know what's crazy? I've gotten some backlash about it, but it wasn't even Josh Allen's fault. Josh Allen played a good game. Like, surprisingly enough, we always talk about Josh Allen, how he's so turnover prone, how he's this, how he's that. But Josh Allen played a good game. This is probably the first time, and Gabe, you could probably attest to this. This is probably the first time we've seen Josh Allen play a clean game.
yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, I've lived in Buffalo ever since. I think ever since they drafted Josh Allen, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that was probably the best he's played in a Buffalo Bills jersey in a playoff game. This was the team to beat. This Chiefs team has probably been the worst Chiefs team we've seen all in our
Yeah.
lifetimes with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. By far the worst. By far the worst. I tell you what, if it wasn't for that Chiefs defense, they wouldn't be here. Hell no, because that offense until now hasn't been able to figure it out. And it just shocks me every year that they find a way to fumble it. Every year. Realistically, whenever Josh Allen has played the Chiefs, has it really ever been his fault for the most part? It's either been
No.
it's always been the defense selling him. Um, Last week a kicker selling him. Um, it's always been, or he's just been very unlucky. And sometimes your best isn't good enough. And I think the Bills need to look themselves hard in the mirror this offseason and say, look, you can't keep being second best to Patrick Mahomes. Not with Josh Allen. You can't. Um, I think that whole offense needs a rework. There's no way that you have Stephon Diggs, and I barely noticed him. I don't know if you saw this video, but it was of the last drive when of the Bills before they kicked that field goal, and he missed like 5 reads, and he just overlooked open players trying to go for the big shot, and I think that's the difference. Yes, he played a clean game, but I'll make a reference here. It's like you going to the club, you getting the number, you call her, you meet up, but you don't finish the job. You don't
Mm-hmm.
finish the job in the sneaky link. He had intro, the body, did not wrap it up. The conclusion, did not finish it at all. And I don't know if it's a culture thing, because I think I don't know if it's the curse of losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. Um, I don't know what it is, but there's a saying I always have. It's that Buffalo shit for real. And it's really that Buffalo shit for real. Um, it's my mom will always ask me since I went to school in Buffalo for 6.5 years. She'd be like, "Oh, why you always hope that Buffalo loses?" I always say Buffalo acts like something they're not, and they act like they're bigger than something they are. And I felt like Buffalo walked into that game feeling entitled to win. I don't know if you got that vibe, but I felt like they felt entitled to win. They felt like they deserved to win, and they don't deserve jack shit. You hear me? They don't deserve fucking anything. They have to rework that whole offense. They have to figure out what the hell they're gonna do. I think Sean McDermott needs to go. We talk about mediocrity, how franchises are accepting it. Sean Mc, is that his name? Sean McDermott, right? That's the Bills
Yep.
coach. He needs to go. He needs to go learn Chinese. There's a couple of coaches that should have learned Chinese after what the fuck they did this season. He's one of them. I think he's done his job. He's ran a good race. He's fought a hard battle. But it's time to go. I think he's the problem. Realistically, I think he's the problem, and they need to fix that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just,
The crazy thing is, he was actually a defensive-minded coach before he got the job.
man, listen. That's a defensive coordinator, and you let Patrick Mahomes just run down on you every time. Pause. That ain't sound right, but y'all get what I'm saying.
But hey, he used to be the coordinator for Philly. He was good for a while until he got the head coach job.
But yeah, he has to go. He has to go. There's no way. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you watch that game, Patrick Mahomes, this whole playoff run, the most comfortable I've ever seen him. Comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he got touched. They made Travis Kelce rewind the clock. That was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just, and this team. It just irks my soul because they have the pieces to do something, but they just don't do it. And when you go talk to Buffalo fans, they tell you, win, lose, or draw, we're going to stand by our team. And then they always come to me, well, your team hasn't done shit. Well, listen here, buddy. I've seen my team win 2 Super Bowls with a quarterback who Josh Allen could never lace Eli's boots or cleats. Never.
Nope.
Fucking never. And
Right.
never. Like, they say they're the only team in New York. Okay, we play a little bit across Jersey. There ain't no space in the city. But it's just like, they act so entitled. So I'm glad they lost. But I think it's time for Buffalo Bills and their fans to look themselves in the mirror and figure out, is this worth it? Because, yeah, you're going to run through the AFC East. The Dolphins, God knows what's going on over there. They just find a way to fuck up every single year. The fucking
Mhm.
Jets ain't gonna be worth shit next year. They'll probably be 7-9. And the Pats are just hot garbage. Yeah, you might win a division. Yeah, you might win yourself a playoff game. But it's like, for what? What is this all for? To just lose to
Would
Patrick
you
Mahomes?
say he's like the Doc Rivers of the NFL? He can win a round 1, 2, but he can't get past round 2.
Oh, nah, don't disrespect Doc Rivers like that. Doc Rivers got chipped. Don't fucking do that.
That's one team.
No, no, don't disrespect Doc Rivers. Not like that.
Think about it, Doc Rivers can't even get past round 2 now.
But see, at least Doc Rivers is losing to better teams.
That's true.
Can we all say if? Can we all sit here and say the, that the Bills have played better than the Chiefs this year? Without
Oh
a,
yeah.
without a shadow of a
Yeah,
doubt. Without a
I
shadow.
can I can agree to that.
Without a shadow of a doubt. That's not a crazy statement to say. And
Nope.
some people thought I was insane for saying Rasheed Rice and Trent McDuffie, and I'll still stand on that. But L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie made Stephon Diggs look like I don't know what the fuck it was.
Average.
Average. And those are two, Sneed, we know Sneed's like a cover corner. And McDuffie's the press guy. But it's just there's another person I'm gonna get on before we move on. Stephon Diggs. Can we sit here and say he's not a number one receiver? After what he
I
pulled.
mean, yeah.
Can we officially
Eight targets, and only caught 3 of them is kind of disappointing.
I know towards the end Josh Allen wasn't looking for him, but you could tell Josh Allen was making a um a consistent effort to look for him. I really think the Chiefs fear Khalil Shakir more than Stephon Diggs, and that's a damn shame because Stephon Diggs left Minnesota to be the guy.
Right.
You want to Buffalo to be the man, but what he did towards the end of the season,
Terrible.
that's not what a dog does. You say you're him. You say I'm a top 10 receiver in the league. Shit. If that's a top 10 receiver, my game's where is the NFL going? If that's a top 10 receiver, then I need to stop watching football. Cause that's ridiculous. But it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just ask y'all a question. If y'all Buffalo, what the fuck do y'all do?
Think about this. They still got Diggs currently on the contract. If it feels like he's not the guy and he asks for a trade, think about this. Gabe Davis is also a free agent, so more than likely he's going to get overpaid by somebody. So there's a possible chance if they don't bring back Davis because due to overpay, and they decide to trade Diggs, they're down to their receiver 3, 4, 5, and they'll probably have the draft receivers unless they bring another one in free agency who's
See,
decent.
my thing is right. How much is Gabe Davis expected to get paid? Let's say $60 million.
Who knows? Some team that's going to be desperate for a wide receiver would not shock me if they overpay for Gabe
I
Davis.
would
I
not be.
wouldn't,
I would
but
not be surprised if we saw 3 years, $60 million. I would not be surprised.
I'm telling you, I think either him or T. Higgins gets overpaid by Carolina.
I don't know if you.
One of the two.
I don't think you overpaying for T. Higgins though.
So they're both still young. Look, if you have youth on receiver, you're going to get paid more than an older guy, unless the older guy's like still in his prime and fucking still doing crazy shit. But
But it's just like.
if you have youth on your side, you're going to get money.
But it's just like. We've seen this story before. Stephon Diggs not showing up in the playoffs. Remember when
Yep.
Gabe Davis had that breakout game in the NFL Classic a couple years ago, and then that's why they
Yep.
changed the overtime rule. It's just I don't fucking know where you go from here for the Bills. Mar, what you think they do from here on? What do you think the Bills got to
I
do?
think I think you gotta get rid of Stephon. You have to, because There's no reason, and this is just my opinion. Take heed to this, okay? To anybody that watches this or listens to this, take heed to what I'm about to say. There's no reason that you should be calling yourself that guy. I'm him. I'm a dog, and only catch 3 passes out of 8. You got targeted 8 times. Why are we not catching these passes? Now, some targets was, contested. Some weren't. But if you're a dog, if you're him, if you're so like that, why are you only catching 3 out of 8 passes, man? That doesn't even make sense to me. It just does not make sense. This is why I don't like Stephon Diggs. I don't like him. I just don't, because if you had to ask me, I don't even think he's a top 5 receiver in the league, let alone top 10. Let alone top 10. And I can name 10 receivers better than Stephon Diggs as of this year. I promise you, I can name 10 receivers that's better than Stephon Diggs as of this year.
Shit, you might be able to name.
Get rid of Stephon Diggs.
You might be able to name 15.
Maybe 15.
Yeah.
But you get rid of Stephon Diggs. Whatever you decide to do, you have to understand that it's going to be hard trying to get rid of your receiver one, especially when the way he exited Minnesota. Oh, I want to be the number one guy. Considering the fact you were the number one guy at one point, you were the guy. You were in Minnesota and you were balling. You wanted to win. There's a difference. Don't say you wanted to be the guy. You wanted to win. They're like, I could respect it so much more if he just said, I just want to win. No, I want to be the guy. You were the guy in Minnesota. I don't understand that. Was Adam Thielen the guy in Minnesota?
Fuck no.
That doesn't even make sense.
Adam Thielen had no problem being the number 2.
My point.
Adam Thielen came out and said, I have no problem playing second fiddle to Stephon Diggs.
My point. And my thing is that the way he exited Minnesota, it's going to make it harder to get rid of him. Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to deal with that. I know there's some franchises out there that does not want to deal with that. Especially the way he exited. Like, I'm heavy on that. One thing about it, and I will forever say it. You never burn bridges that you may have to cross again. Never burn bridges that you may have to cross again. Not saying that he may have to cross Minnesota again, but you burning that bridge, hell, you might burn the next 3 bridges that you cross. And nobody wants to deal with that. I know I wouldn't. As a GM, as a coach, I would not want to deal with that.
You one of the crazy.
I get your.
Not to interject here. There's a lot of teams that can use Stephon Diggs' services. A lot. My team could use him. Send a couple draft picks.
Bro, imagine having Stephon Diggs with Scary Terry.
Oh my!
You gotta pick your poison on one.
We'll see the thing, and they balance each other out. It's a perfect 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and then you got Curtis Samuel and Dewami Brown playing the slot, one of those for receiver 3, and.
Let me get this. But see, when you act like a bitch, nobody want that.
Hell no.
Nobody want nobody to act. Excuse my language, but nobody wants someone who act like a bitch the whole time. That shit get annoying.
You can say that again.
Go ahead, Mom. My bad.
Good thing I'm single.
All I'm saying is that Stephon Diggs made a big hole for himself leaving Minnesota the way he did. And I literally said, watch how, I guarantee you, he's going to go to Buffalo. And I said this a while ago. I said he's going to go to Buffalo. They're either not going to win, A, or B, he's not going to be satisfied with the way that they play. and then he's going to want out. But when he wants out, he's not going to get what he wants. He's not going to get what he wants because you burned that bridge with Minnesota. You left Minnesota saying, "Oh, I want to be the guy." You were the guy, Stephon Diggs. You were the guy. You saying that you wanted to be the guy, that doesn't even make sense because you were the guy. You say you wanted to win. If you say that, I can completely understand why you wanted to win. Okay, cool.
I think he had a better shot of winning in Minnesota than going to the Bills.
So do I.
I
Like I
think
said, you had Thielen. You had Thielen, right? I think you still had. Did they have Kyle Rudolph still or no?
I think so.
I
But I
think,
know they had
yeah, I
him,
think they did.
Thielen. They still had Dalvin Cook.
That defense wasn't half bad.
No,
Like,
they were in a winnable division.
but it's just I just find it so funny that he talks about wanting to be the man and wanting to win, but you're doing everything not to win. You got guys who maybe in the league 1 year, 2 years ago, outshowing them, outplaying you. Let's go on the opposite side of the coin here for a second. Let's talk about Rasheed Rice. He got outplayed by Rasheed Rice. Rasheed Rice looked better than him. You know what I mean?
Rasheed,
Like,
Rasheed.
honestly, give the Chiefs like a Mike Evans or a T Higgins, they'll be set. They'll be fucking set. Or let them draft someone because I know this draft is pretty. Well, no, they don't need to draft a wide receiver. They need to go get one.
I agree.
Need to go get one because uh, I don't know, but it's just like let's just talk about the other side of the coin here. The Chiefs did what they needed to do. Travis Kelsey went off and probably what we all believe will probably be his last swan song. Um, that defense looked good. McDuffie and Snead did their thing. Chris Jones did his thing. They locked up when they needed to. And the Bills kicker can't make a kick to save his life. But how much time they had left with that kick anyway? If he was to make it, what is it, a minute and some change?
Yeah,
So they still would have went down the field. I think they would have went down the field and scored. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it's just that's the difference between the winners and the losers, the haves and the have-nots. Those who show up and those who make the plays, and those who don't. And the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Rasheed Rice, Travis Kelsey, that Chiefs defense made plays when they had to, and that's the difference. The Bills did make plays. Their defense looked like Swiss cheese. Josh Allen sold that last possession. Tyler Bass need to go to the USFL. Stephon Diggs, I don't know what the fuck you do with Stephon Diggs. That's I don't know what you do. I don't know what you get from Stephon Diggs. Maybe a third, fourth rounder. Tootsie Roll. Who the fuck knows?
yeah.
But it's just the Chiefs made plays and the Bills didn't, and that was the difference between that game, which I think I don't know if we want to roll into the AFC NFC Championship, give our predictions, but I think more than anything, I think that will make the difference in the AFC chip. To be honest, I think it's going to be. I think that game's going to come down who can make the plays,
I agree.
who can show up, because we both know they're going to show up. But I mean, I guess we can move on to the conference chip.
All right. Previewing the conference championship, ladies and gentlemen. Um, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. First at 3 o'clock on CBS and Paramount Plus, it will be Kansas City Chiefs heading into Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Current line is -4 in favor of the Baltimore Ravens, and the over/under is set at 44.5.
Oof.
Um, And then 5:30, 6:30. I'm sorry, 6:30 on Fox. It will be Detroit heading into San Francisco. Current line is set at -7 in favor of the 49ers, and the over/under is set at 52. So, starting with Kansas City and Baltimore. I mean, guys, this is the best of the best right here. This is Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, best in the AFC versus Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. This is probably, like I said, this is probably best of the best showdown right here. So I think it's going to come down to the sole fact of who outplays who. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Who outplays who? And I'm saying that because, of course, we've never seen Patrick Mahomes play on the road in the playoffs. This is the first time he's played a conference championship on the road. Now it's happening. He's won one game already. But the question is, can he advance to the Super Bowl on the road? But he has to face Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore defense. Gentlemen, your thoughts. One at a time, please.
Go ahead, Gabe.
Um, I've sat back and I've went back and forth on this game. Um, Especially I do the write ups for the Discord. Link in description. Um, I don't want to see Taylor Swift on TV. I don't. I really fucking don't. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Joey. That article with the swag surf, that was the last fucking straw.
That was funny as hell, but it does get annoying. Like I said, coming from a person that I don't mind Taylor Swift per se, but like I get why it can get annoying for a lot of people. So
I don't got nothing against her music, nothing as a person. You know, I mean, is she my cup of tea? No. I normally don't go for white girls. I don't look their way. She kind of looked like the average white girl to me. To me. Um, if she was in front of me, it might be a different story. I ain't gonna lie, I might fold, but neither here or there. As much as it pains me to fucking say it, because I would love to see Lamar do it. I would love to see him do it. I think the Chiefs pull this motherfucker out. I really do. I think they win it on the last possession. And I think the score is 27-24. I think that honestly what it comes down to. This game might come down to who has the ball last. I'm not even gonna
I can see that.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't fucking know what it is, but if there was a year that there was a year for some bullshit to happen in one of these games, it's this game right here.
I can agree with that.
As much as I don't want to see that white pasty bitch on the TV, we gonna get her. Chiefs 27-24 in a classic. I will say that though, it will be a classic. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that motherfucker. Whoever want to go next.
So
go.
I'll go next real quick. I'll make it pretty simple. If any Houdini fluky shit was gonna happen, I do believe, as Gabe said, I think it will happen in the game. But the more and more I'm watching, I just think this is the year of Lamar. Like he's probably looking the best he's looked in his career as a whole quarterback, passing, throwing, and the offense is looking good. They've gone through running backs like I did in fantasy football this year, but at the same time, next man steps up. I just think Lamar's the key. Like, I don't know who the hell they got trying to say, yo, you got to contain Lamar. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it personally, but I know Kelly keeps saying, oh, Joe, you better tell the Chiefs to win. I just think this is the year of Lamar. I really firmly do. This is where he takes this next step of, okay, is Lamar really, you could probably put, if Lamar does what I think he can do, one, he's going to get MVP. He should get MVP or he's getting robbed. Two, if they get to the Super Bowl and win it, I think now the conversation of Lamar is, can you put Lamar in the top 5? And I think you could, especially how he's looking now. You could put him in that top 5 talk. But I'm still going with I'm still going with the Ravens. I do firmly believe this game's probably gonna be like a field goal to under a touchdown type of lead, and whoever has ball last is gonna end up winning it. So I'm going with the Ravens though.
Mar, your thoughts?
The last 6 years, it has been Kansas City or die. Patrick Mahomes has probably had the most successful 6 years of more than any other quarterback or team. But as Joey said, this is the year of Baltimore. This is the year of the Ravens. This is solely off the sole fact that this team, they're so complete all around. I'm not gonna say perfect, okay, because nothing is perfect. Great run game. Lamar is great with passing the ball whenever necessary. The defense is just the pressure, the hits, the coverage. I don't see them losing. If they play the way they've been playing this year against Kansas City, and to think Baltimore has played, some very high-powered offenses and completely shut them down and made them look like nothing. I mean, again, we just saw Baltimore hold Houston to 10 points after they just dropped 45 on the best defense in the league. Baltimore, this is the team. This is the team. Now, if there was a team that could beat Kansas City, that could finally beat Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, and I guess Taylor Swift, Baltimore, this is the team. I have Baltimore winning 34-24. That is my prediction. All right. Now we jump to the NFC Championship. This is probably going to be a very interesting game, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna give my prediction first. I'm gonna be honest. I got Detroit. Man. I don't think San Francisco is gonna meet its match when it comes to this game. They're gonna meet their match Sunday. I don't think San Francisco has played a team that is strong enough on the offensive line and the defensive line. I don't think they've played a team that has a secondary that not as strong. I'm not going to say they have a strong secondary, but I don't think they've played a secondary that has talent in it. As much talent as Detroit has in the secondary, I don't think San Francisco has played a team that has talent in it. Now, granted, when they played Baltimore, y'all saw what happened. That's what happens when you play defenses that are capable of everything, capable of coverage, capable of playing defense, capable of it all. This team can do it all. And I think if you had to ask me, like I said, I got Detroit. I'm going with Detroit. I'm locking it in. I'm gonna make this one 27-21. I think they can. I think they can pull it off.
You want to go next, Gabe, or should I go? All right, so I'll go. I think this game could be action packed out of the go. I think this game could potentially be low scoring. Two good defenses, two good pass rushers. And one thing I'm gonna love about this game the most, battle of the trenches. We're gonna see early whose trenches is better than the other trenches. Detroit has a top 5 O line, and San Fran arguably has the best O line in D line in football. So whoever can win the trenches early has a good probability of controlling the outcome of the game. Um, all year that two-headed running back of Gibbs and Montgomery has been something else. And honestly, I think Detroit's gonna continue to have to roll that game, no matter if they only get a yard here, a yard here. You know, sooner or later, one of them is gonna break one off. And if you can keep San Fran off the sideline as long as possible, there's probabilities, and you're gonna have to try to make Brock Purdy make big play after big play after big play. And like I said, they got above average O line. It's not the greatest like it used to be back in the day, but they still got your Trent Williams, Mike McGlinchey. Okay, that's fine. But one thing that this game could look similar to, if it happens, you remember when Brock Purdy got hurt against Philly? What got to him? Constant pressure. What does Detroit do? They put constant pressure on the quarterback. If Detroit can do that, I think there's a good probability. And look, and they're already great against the run. And I know their top priority is, look, we're not letting McCaffrey break one. So they're gonna need Kittle, Debo, who's now playing. So that's also, I don't want to hear no excuse if they do lose. Ayuk, and they've been moving some other pieces around. But I'm going Detroit. Like I said, they have. If you look at both sides, I think if you want to combine both their O line and D line, they're better. I think San Fran slightly has the D line up, but still, as a whole, Detroit gets pressure. I haven't seen one game where Detroit doesn't at least get between 2 to over 2 sacks. Constant pressure, hitting the quarterback. And if you're going to beat the Niners, that's what you got to do. You got to get to Purdy. And I think there's a good probable chance. And they don't even just do it more with the D line. There's times where they blitz safeties, they blitz corners, they blitz all kinds of different angles and make quarterbacks guess. And if you guess wrong, there's a good probability within under 3 seconds you're going to be put on your ass. So I'm definitely going Detroit. I'm not saying this is going to be an easy game by any means because, like I said, battle of trenches. Whoever can win time possession should definitely control it. But I got Detroit. But I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think this is almost going to be like a game of freaking checkers until someone can upgrade a game of checkers to a game of chess until they get strike big. But I'm thinking it could be somewhat low scoring. Both good defenses.
Give me the Lions. Um, this 49ers team has not been that impressive. And we saw what happens when you go tick for tack with these 49ers. They showed the true colors last week. The Lions can expose it. The Packers they had, I don't know what the exact number is for time of possession, but they maintained time of possession pretty well. They was able to establish the run. If the Lions can establish the run early, control the clock, and make the 49ers do shit they've never done before, this is the Lions to lose. Will it be low scoring? I can see it. I think it'll be close. Lions +7 is real disrespectful, by the way.
It really.
But yeah, give me the Lions. Give me the Lions here, and what should be a pretty entertaining game. Mar, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, so I guess that's it for the NFL segment. Guess we could go ahead and wrap this up with any final remarks. For those who are into wrestling, the Royal Rumble is today. on Saturday. Whenever we do decide to release this, I'll try to upload it tonight. Um, I don't know about y'all, but I've never been more excited for a Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably
It's gonna be on Peacock, right?
on Peacock.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think I have Peacock, so I'm not worried.
that or Stream East.
I mean
Oh,
that
and
too.
streaming.
That too.
That too.
That or Fire Stick.
Fire Stick. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Peacock
Dude,
only $5. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, like it's only $5. I'm not
yeah,
worried.
you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's only $5. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you can't rub $5 together, you might have some problems that you might need to address. Um, but
And
yeah,
nicer terms.
yeah, but this is gonna be a pretty good card.
Okay. Before you end it though, okay. I probably already know who y'all both thinking the men gonna win. At least I know for Mars' answer.
I'm not
What?
gonna. Who's gonna win the Rumble?
For the men, you probably want Punk to win.
Either Punk or
It's not gonna be Cody.
Yeah, it's not gonna be what I'm hearing.
I'm not gonna lie. I heard Gunther.
I would love to see Gunther. I told my buddy Sean. So pretty much, I'll get to the guys one, then we can get to the women's one. But I was telling my buddy Sean, and I told him what would be nuts because I think it's either gonna be Punk or Gunther. But I was like, how crazy would it be for as a storyline if somehow Damian Priest won the Rumble? Right, he already has Money in the Bank, but if he wins the Rumble, he's already guaranteed a match. Let's say prime example.
that's a waste though.
It is. But let's think about this. Let's say he waits till Rumble for both, right? He gets pinned at WrestleMania. But remember, he still has the briefcase. He gets the rematch and wins.
That's a waste. That's a waste.
It's a waste. Like, even last year, they wasted the Money in the Bank last year. I just hope they don't do it twice in a row.
But see, that was different though.
It was like
that was
it went to that one big dude, and then the Miz had it, and then didn't do shit to it.
That was different.
So I wasn't expecting the Miz to win, but
that was different. We all knew whoever had that.
That was probably one of the worst Money in the Bank winners I've seen.
But I mean, realistically speaking, I also heard rumors that Roman Reigns is going to be number 30.
Oh my God!
I heard. I don't quote me on this because apparently the plan is to have the Fatal 4-Way open the card, Women's Royal Rumble, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and then the Men's Royal. Do you know how sick that crowd's gonna be?
If Roman enters 30 and wins.
Roman enters 30, it fucking wins.
It's gonna just make the only thing they would say is it would give more views for like Money in the Bank, not Money in the Bank, for like Elimination Chamber and all the rest of them other type shits. But
that would be the funniest shit ever. But no, I honestly I heard rumors that he might be 30th. He's gonna end up winning. He's gonna be close to winning. And The Rock is this is what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. The Rock's gonna come out, cost Roman Reigns the Rumble, and Gunther wins that way. And apparently something's gonna happen with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in the Rumble. That's what I heard. Which would be a funny ass ending, but which would then set up The Rock, Roman Reigns, and then you have your Seth Rollins match. But I mean, we all know who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. That's Becky Lynch. Yeah, I think that's common knowledge by now.
I've heard everything I keep hearing, and I hope I'm wrong. Everyone I see keeps saying Bayley, so Bayley tries to take the title from that women's group.
I can see it. I can see that, so that'll be fire. But I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a good Royal Rumble. It starts at 8 Eastern, so it's gonna be pretty.
Yep. The pre-show's at 7, but they primarily just talk and sometimes I don't know if it's like anything like entertaining.
It's usually a little bullshit match they do beforehand, but
yeah, get a little warm up going.
Just to get the crowd going. But I mean, the Royal Rumble is gonna be good this year.
It
Um,
wouldn't shock. I don't know if it's actually a match. I haven't even checked the matches per se. It wouldn't shock me if it was the Authority group versus Lashley and the who's the one that Lashley with? Lashley's with
Street Profits. Nah.
yeah. So what? It wouldn't shock me if that was the match that was on the pre-show.
I heard they saving that for Mania.
Nah.
They gonna try to build it up. Um, before we wrap this up, I'm gonna give a little update on my road to 63. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. I was 10-14. Right, going to the last day of the group stages. Swept the last day. You wanna know what happens the following day? Go 1-3.
Ouch.
So now I'm 17-19 going into the knockouts. I have to go on a legendary run here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the first bet today. That was some wild shit. Never again. Um, and I have another game coming up at 3:00. So we'll see how that goes. But it's not looking too good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not looking too good. But yeah, that's the update on it. I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to talk about or add. I mean, UFC was last weekend.
Yeah, UFC comes back on the 3rd of February.
UFC comes back on the 3rd. That'll be something nice to fill in since we won't have no football next weekend, and God knows college ball. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, that's about it. Really, there ain't really nothing much to talk about. Unless anybody has anything else they want to add.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We do have a lot planned this year. Hopefully, I know me, Joey, Ryan, Brian, and a few other members of the Discord, we all going to NXT to see the first UFC card in how many years? Or is it 10 years? It's been a minute.
It's been a while since it's been in AC. A long time.
Hopefully, we get some content out of that. We plan to do some trips. Plan all to meet each other. Hopefully, really soon. We still working on that. Our lives are very different. Very fucking different. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, YouTube. Working on Apple Music. We're trying. Hopefully, we'll have that ready by the springtime. Also follow us on Twitter at the Fab Five Bettors. Anything else I'm missing? Discord link will be in the bio, whatever that section is, down below. You all know what that fucking section is. That fucking section. That fucking section. Whatever the fuck.
Section.
Yeah.
That section.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a brain, you know what the fuck it is. It'll be linked to this video. We'll be dropping our plays tomorrow. NFL Moneymaker Sunday. 1:00 tomorrow. Oh no. 1:00 tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.